We started for day one, and looking at my screen here, we followed the learning targets of summarizing the key ideas of an article about the pros and cons of social networking. We're going to continue to do that today. We won't be planning our arguments until, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday, and you will have a small project to complete when you're planning your argument about social networking. And the presentation, again, will be a part of your project, but we'll get to that a couple days later. Looking at this, we did look at the chart here of how the teens use social media sites for the survey that was conducted. And we learned about the strategy of metacognitive markers. Now, if you make note of or write down some metacognitive markers that you may have. If you mark the text as you go, you understand a little bit better about what you're reading. You're asking yourself questions about the reading rather than just reading words off paper. Yesterday, you should have read Social Networking's Good and Bad Impacts on Kids. I want to actually review some of the exclamation points that I put, and I also put a question mark just to kind of think about a question that I had. So things that really were interesting to me were how they're solid. Not just, somebody somewhere said this, but solid psychological research demonstrating both the positive and negatives to when social media. They're saying that there are risks and benefits for children who are using social media. So it's not all bad, but does the good outweigh the bad, or does the bad outweigh the good? Is it even? Is there like a solid, absolutely, reason why or why not children should be allowed to use social media, right? So that really kind of opened a lot of topics in my head just to think about that. Not only that, it did mention that there are potential adverse effects, including, and I put question mark here, that teens that use Facebook often have more narcissistic tendencies. And also not only that, and I'm actually going to do this here, that it said that they show more signs of psychological disorders. Going to put a reaction there, including antisocial behaviors, mania, and aggressive tendencies. Now, narcissistic, I could see that because, we are the age of selfies. Not only that, we love going and looking and seeing who liked our posts and how many likes we've gotten. Sometimes just that nice little ding on our phone gives us a little confidence, like, oh, someone's commented or someone has liked my photo or gave it a heart or whatever the case may be. So that could be something that I could kind of see, and I'll even say a little bit agree with. But something that really was alarming was how that there are shown behaviors of antisocial behavior, mania, and aggressive tendencies for young adults who use Facebook a lot. I really wouldn't think that would be something that would come from being on social media so much. Something else that I saw here was the daily overuse of media and technology has a negative effect on the health of all children, preteens, and teenagers by making them more prone to anxiety, depression, and other psychological disorders, as well as by making them more susceptible to future health problems. All by using social media? Maybe people who aren't liking posts the post, maybe it's a little depressing. Maybe the anxiety to post or anxiety of what you post, maybe. I'm not sure, but that just was a very interesting detail that I found there. So that's why I put an exclamation point. Something else was after they kind of gave the negative on the learning and the impact of adolescents using social media, that they said that there were some positive influences linked to social media. So those of us that are more on the side of saying that actually it's good for us would probably benefit from these facts here. So one thing that I did see was introverted adolescents. So those introverts, those people that feel like they're closed in, they don't really interact with a lot of people. Wasn't that one of our vocabulary words? I feel like we've heard that word before. But they learn how to socialize behind the safety of various screens. So maybe if you have anxiety about interacting with people face to face, then behind a screen makes it a lot easier. Social networking can provide tools for teaching in compelling ways that engage young students. I've never used any type of social medias for teaching, but maybe you could give some insight as to maybe how it would work or how you think it could be incorporated in ELA or math. If I'm thinking of social media, maybe I don't know. Are TikToks considered social media? I guess so. Miss Moore showing her age. I'm sorry. I think I stopped at Snapchat. I'm not doing anything else. Nope. And then something else that I saw was your child will find a workaround in a matter of minutes. So this is talking about how basically there are some parents that are trying to secretly monitor their children on social media, but I guess there's always a way around it. There are certain students, certain kids that find so many different apps that they can hide things in, unless parents are really monitoring their devices or they have like access to their social media. There's not really an easy way to be secretive about monitoring their child's progress or monitoring their what they're doing on their devices. So that was something that kind of was a little baffling to me. So I'm wondering if you also had some questions or some of the same aha moments that I had when I was going through this article. So you should have answered questions 2 through 6 on that Google document that was posted yesterday. But today, I know I rambled on, but today's lesson, you are going to be reading Pro and Con Arguments. Are social networking sites good for our society? Now, I'm going to read the Did You Know with you. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to stop and give a little bit of insight as to what I'm hearing. And then I would like you, after I'm going through mine, you will go through your pros and cons of the social networking sites. Again, you will be marking the text with metacognitive markers, and I'll be marking it as I listen as well, just so you can see how I'm marking the text and also my thinking behind marking these the way that I did. Okay? So you can listen just on my screen. I'm going to turn it up. So I'm going to play this and we're going to listen to it and I'm going to mark the text and then we'll discuss in a little bit. Okay.
Pro and con arguments. Are social networking sites good for our society? Did you know? 1. Social networking and blogging sites accounted for 17%, about 1 in every 6 minutes, of all time spent on the internet in August 2009, nearly 3 times as much as in 2008. 2. Twitter was so important to the Iranian protests after the Iranian presidential election in June 2009 that the U.S. State Department asked Twitter to delay a scheduled network upgrade that would have taken the website offline at a busy time of day in Iran. Twitter complied and rescheduled the downtime to 1:30 a.m. Tehran time. 3. On November 3rd, 2008, the day before the U.S. presidential election, Democratic presidential candidate Barack Obama had 2,379,102 Facebook supporters, while Republican candidate John McCain had 620,359. Wow. Obama had 833,161 MySpace friends, and McCain had 217,811. Obama had 384% more Facebook supporters and 383% more MySpace friends than McCain.
Wow.
4. Russians spend more time on social networking sites than people in any other country, an average of 6.6 hours per month compared to the worldwide average of 3.7 hours per month. Pros.
All right, so I'm going to pause it right there, and I'm going to just highlight that whole thing. So some things that we just listened to. The first is, it says that between 2008 and August 2009, 3 times as much of an increase on people being on social networking. I'm curious as to why that was. Was there something in 2009 a new, maybe a new website, or maybe more, I don't know, people getting on social networking. I'm curious as to why it was 3 times the amount from a previous year. But it's still a huge jump. Something else that I saw, I have a question about this. Now, it was about the Twitter was so important to the Iranian protests after the presidential election in June 2009. So the US asked Twitter to put an upgrade, like, hey, Twitter, can you do us a favor? Can you upgrade this website during this time? And it was a very busy time of day in Iran. And so Twitter was like, yeah, sure. And they rescheduled it to 1:30 a.m. That's why I'm curious. Then this one was very interesting, and I'm curious about maybe our past presidential election when Donald Trump was elected. When I'm looking here, it's saying that basically Barack Obama was more popular than John McCain, his running mate for the presidential election in 2008. So that's something I might even go back and do some research on to see about the presidential candidates between for the 2000, what is this, 2016? Is that 4 years ago? Sorry, guys. 2016 election. And just curious as maybe did Donald Trump have more followers on Twitter? He likes to use Twitter. Maybe that was something. Maybe he's even more popular. Donald Trump is not new to people's names. It's not new to it's not a new household name. It's new as far as president goes, but not new. A lot of people already knew who Donald Trump was even before he was president. He was very popular. So I'm curious as to maybe, I don't know, maybe for our candidates for this election, it is 2020. I'm curious about how popular they are on their social networking sites. Social networking is the way to go, and it's the way to get to spread the word and get the word out there to a lot of people in a very fast amount of time. So something to think about, right? And the last thing, why? And actually, I should have put a question mark here because that was more of a question mark. I'm going to change that. Why are Russians on social networking sites more than any country? It just seems so strange to me. Do they not have much to do? Are there more, I don't know, opportunities for them if they use social networking? Maybe another little bit of research I could do while I'm up in the middle of the night trying to go to sleep and Googling random things. I'll just Google, why do Russians spend more time on social networking than any other country? Maybe we can figure out an answer. All right. So that was my way of stopping and thinking about what I just read. I'm not just reading the text. I'm actually stopping and thinking and analyzing the text. I'm trying to dig deeper and understanding the social networking. And again, I'm thinking about this question: are social networking sites good for our society? Okay. So some of these are some pros and some of them are cons. It's going to read all the pros first, and then it's going to read all the cons. Now, a lot of you do have social networking. So I want you to think about this with an open mind. Those of you that even don't have social networking, maybe you're not a fan of Twitter, maybe you're not allowed to have one. I want you to just think about all those social networking sites that are out there: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Is TikTok social media? I don't know. Someone please tell me. But all of those sites that you have access to, I'm coming, hun. All of those sites that you have access to, or maybe know of people that have access to, maybe your parents have social media websites, keep an open mind when you are going through the pros and cons, because you are going to eventually use some of these for your assignment later on in the week. All right? So I do have to sign off in a little bit, so I'm going to kind of go through the last part of what I want you to make sure that you complete. So my screen is still being shared. I'm going to go to the actual Springboard assignment. Okay, oh, there I am. So the Springboard assignment is the closing activity. After you read the article, I want you to name 4 facts from the article. 4 facts from the article that were aha moments. that were aha moments that you discovered as you were reading the passage. I want you to give an explanation for each answer as to why you were shocked to learn this fact. What was so like aha about it? Go back to even thinking about how I did my thinking for the first 4 paragraphs of the assignment. And then your Springboard assignment, you're going to complete questions 7 through 12, and they're on pages 211 and 212 of your Springboard book. Please answer all parts of the question, and please restate the answer in your question and make sure that they are sufficient and coherent responses. Please also make sure that you are completing them with proper conventions, spelling, punctuation, grammar, the whole 9, people.